Hi everyone, I'm Samantha Cardwell.
And I'm Maggie Anderson, and today we'll be talking about Linda Darling Hammond and Teaching for Equity.
So who is Linda Darling Hammond? Linda Darling Hammond is a distinguished member of the field of education. She started her career as a teacher and became deeply concerned about the conditions she found the education system in America, especially with the lower socioeconomic schools. She saw how the standards set by the No Child Left Behind Act hurt those who needed the most help in our country, the lower socioeconomic, special needs children, and ESL students. So she decided to get active politically. She grew to become a political advocate for education reform and founded the Learning Policy Institute, of which she is still the CEO.
This takes us to the Learning Policy Institute and ESSA, or the Every Student Succeeds Act. The Learning Policy Institute covers a lot of information concerning their goals, research, plans of action, and reform for the education system in the U.S. Some of these aims are taking power from the standardized test, we will talk about that a little further on, the improvement of school facilities, raising teachers' pay, and creating smaller class sizes. They also plan on decreasing teacher turnover by giving improved support and better developed training at the college and continuing education level.
Here is a small video clip of Linda Darling Hammond as she promotes some of the many reforms she advocates.
Hello, I'm Linda Darling Hammond, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to a set of films about 4 schools across the country who are part of a movement to redesign high schools. This film highlights 4 schools in different communities that have taken different approaches to redesign. While all of these schools are still implementing their reforms, collectively they represent many elements of successful small schools. Among these common features are small learning communities that serve about 300 to 400 students each, smaller class sizes and reduced pupil loads for teachers, achieved by reallocating resources and redesigning schedules, teaching teams that plan together and share students, advisory systems that assign a small number of students to each adult who serves as their primary advocate, a core academic curriculum offering college preparatory courses to all students, project-based learning that actively engages students and connects what they're learning to the real world, performance-based assessment that challenges students to apply their knowledge as they will need to do outside of school.
As she mentioned in the video clip, even though the 4 schools come from very different communities, they all bring together many successful elements. For example, having a smaller class size and pupil load gives teachers better quality time with each student. According to the Learning Policy Institute, this is achievable by reallocating resources and redesigning schedules. Smaller class sizes allows the students to benefit from a more enriched curriculum.
Over the next few slides, we have some of the infographic pictures from the Learning Policy Institute that summarize their ideals on how schools should operate on an internal level. On this slide, it exemplifies their policy reform on the local school level that emphasizes real-world learning and a richer learning environment. The idea is that students' education should be focused on skills they can use in the real world outside of classes. This slide gives examples of this by creating more hands-on learning and less paperwork. Teaching students how to grow food, applicable science, and other real-life hands-on activities give a richer learning environment and equips students better for work and life outside of school.
The next step towards the reform in schools proposed by the Learning Policy Institute is to extend and strengthen collaborative leadership and practices, bringing together the entire community, building teams that include parents and school staff, and a stronger bond to support the learning environment. This includes better training and support for principals.
Examples here which, like ripples in a pond, would resonate throughout the schools in better preparation for a better school and stronger education team. The effective principal model includes raising student achievement, support teacher effectiveness and retention, which means that when principals are able to connect with their staff more effectively, teachers stay in the field longer. When principals are better equipped, they are able to provide more stable leadership. And when principals and teachers are better equipped, more effective, and happier at their jobs, the turnover rate of teachers diminishes, creating more financial benefits.
An active family and community is another reform, where the school is a hub for the entire community, a place where parents have a more active role in their child's education. When a school can become a better education center for the entire family unit, this strengthens our communities on a level we don't see very often in the United States.
Last but not least is a more extensive student support staff in schools for students in and out of class. This includes mental and physical health services, and as it says on the infographic, support programs to address out-of-school barriers for students and families. This includes addressing the whole child's well-being in the form of offering mental health services and food outside of school.
The Learning Policy Institute and ESSA are based on the 4 pillars of opportunity as illustrated here. On the one side of the bridge, you see the factory model, which depicts the way standardized testing creates rote models. The 4 steps of ESSA are as illustrated. 1. A higher quality curriculum, one that doesn't rely on memorization and cultivates critical thinking skills. 2. Multiple measures of success, which is testing based on multiple intelligences. Imagine that. 3. Adequate, equitable resources, so schools get what they need to teach dynamically. And 4. Proven interventions, which addresses the slides we saw before. As you can see as we go across the bridge, it starts at the government level with curriculum and assessment standards, and ends up in the individual schools, creating a deeper learning and teaching experience for all involved.
In conclusion, we have learned about Linda Darling Hammond as a political advocate in the United States and her founding the Learning Policy Institute. We have briefly gone over the basic gist of what the Learning Policy Institute is all about and how their Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA, is out to reform the world of education as we know it, from Washington to the local school right in your neighborhood.
Thank you so much for your time. If you have the opportunity, Google the Learning Policy Institute. It has some really cool information regarding the education system as it is and how they plan to improve it.